Many Floridians have already visited the Everglades, but few of them are aware of why this wetland is so important. H2O To Go Connections has enlightened me about such water systems in Florida. The Everglades is a source of water for millions of people in Florida, and the slow-moving water helps replenish aquifers. The Everglades is also a hurricane buffer, absorbing rains and storm surge. In addition to being crucial for the people in South Florida, the Everglades has several different habitats, including sawgrass marshes and cypress swamps, and is home to a biologically diverse population. Historically, water in the Kissimmee-Okeechobee Everglades, or KOE watershed, flowed from a meandering Kissimmee River into Lake Okeechobee. The water would then overflow Lake Okeechobee's southern border and slowly flow through the Everglades into Florida Bay. However, this natural flow was disrupted when humans began to settle in Florida. Today, water begins in the Kissimmee River, which was channelized to reduce the surrounding floodplains for industrial and residential purposes. It then travels into Lake Okeechobee, where the Port Mayaca and Moore Haven locks and dams were created to manipulate the flow of water when lake levels get too high. Water from Lake Okeechobee may flow east into the St. Lucie River or west into the Caloosahatchee River. Water from Lake Okeechobee goes through a series of canals and then proceeds to flow slowly through the Everglades and into Florida Bay. Humans have had innumerable impacts to the KOE watershed. The following are, of course, only a few. As a result of the altered flow, most of the water that begins in the Kissimmee River never makes it to Florida Bay. Water releases from Lake Okeechobee through the St. Lucie and Caloosahatchee rivers eventually reach estuaries, and the fresh water causes a change in salinity. This kills a variety of wildlife that thrive in only brackish water. Our daily processes allow harmful pollutants to flow through Florida's precious waters. One of the biggest impacts that human activity has caused to the KOE watershed is phosphorus pollution. Urban and agricultural runoff containing fertilizer pollute water with excess nutrients, such as nitrogen and phosphorus. Lake Okeechobee's legal phosphorus maximum is 40 parts per billion, and it is currently almost twice that amount, according to Miss Louisa from the Riverwoods Field Laboratory. Such high phosphorus levels can result in algal blooms and cattail growth. Algal blooms harm the water quality and lower dissolved oxygen levels, killing marine species. Cattail growth creates difficulty for animals like wading birds to find food. To solve this problem, the United States Army Corps of Engineers and the South Florida Water Management District should work with the state government to find ways to reduce excess nutrients from entering our waterways. Better drainage systems and the installation of stormwater treatment areas where phosphorus levels are high is a great start. I would begin efforts to restore Florida's water flow while researching for solutions to improve the water quality. Whereas restoration projects regarding water flow can start anywhere in the KOE watershed, it only makes sense to begin water quality projects at the root. Otherwise, as more poor quality water flows into restored areas, all the work would be undone. Hence, the Kissimmee River should be addressed first. It will take a lot of time and money to restore the Everglades alone. However, in the end, any and all restoration projects will greatly benefit our ecosystem. The United States Army Corps of Engineers and the South Florida Water Management District split the cost of restoring the Kissimmee River 50-50, and subsequent efforts can be carried out in the same way to minimize costs for any individual association. Floridians depend on the KOE watershed in numerous ways. Therefore, restoring these natural waters may take an abundance of resources, but will prove to be favorable in the end. In the next 100 years, we can expect to see more restoration projects in the KOE watershed. If these projects do not happen in time, sea level rise will slowly corrupt our inland waters, starting with the Everglades and working its way upwards. Issues having to do with invasive species and pollution also have the potential to increase in the Everglades and the rest of the KOE watershed. By attending the H2O To GO Connections program, I participated in activities such as water quality testing, swamp tromping, sei netting, canoeing, and species classification. This residential research institute has changed my perspective of the Kissimmee River, Lake Okeechobee, and the Everglades. Going out in the field to explore and understand South Florida's vital water systems and the environmental issues they are facing has provided me with knowledge and memories that will always be a part of me. It's time to work with nature, not against it.